Hello everybody and welcome to a train simulator video. Today we shall be driving the class 313 EMU from Drayton Park to Welwyn Garden City. So the first thing we need to do is turn off the pause menu and open the doors. The next thing we need to do is set up the train headlights. So we'll turn on the daytime headlights by pressing H, the marker lights by pressing M, and turn off the tail lights by pressing K. With the signal ahead displaying a green aspect, we can turn off the driver reminder appliance by pressing Y. And the next thing we need to do is we need to move the reverser into the neutral position and turn on the AWS. So we need to press and hold F and press S to move the reverser backwards. Now that we're in the neutral position, we can switch from the third rail to the overhead power lines. So to do this we need to press the 25 kilovolt button and then we need to hold down the set reset button. Just try that again. And there we are now drawing power from the overhead line equipment. And the last thing we need to do is we need to press Ctrl Shift R to activate the driver only operation. And our train is now ready for departure. So I'm just going to move to the external camera to make sure that the doors close properly. Just going to put the train into forward gear now and prepare to release the brakes. Pressing R to close the doors. The buzzing sound that you heard just then was the dual voltage alarm, which sounds when the train is in an area where both DC and AC power is available to use, and that's acknowledged by pressing J. On the North London Line Class 313s, this is more of an audible tone, which was demonstrated on the video 125 driver's eye view of the North London Line when it was filmed back in 2006. The starting speed limit is 35 miles an hour, so I'm just going to start to apply power now just to get us up the hill, which can be as steep as 1 in 40. Just going to cut the power to the train now and start to slow down for Finsbury Park. Just going to put the train into a step-on brake application just to bring down the train to at least 25 miles an hour. As the platforms that we will be stopping at will be fairly short, so we want to be doing no faster than anywhere between 25 and 30 as we enter the platform. And at Finsbury Park we're looking to stop down towards the end of the platform. Just going to put a full service brake application on. And we've actually just stopped down by the 6 car marker. but we are generally aiming for a 3-car stop sign or an S sign. Just going to cut the power to the train now as our speed is momentarily dropping down to 30 miles an hour. It will then increase to 55 miles an hour, and then after the next signal it increases to 60 miles an hour. Our next station stop will be Haringey. Just going to cut the powers of the train now and put it into a step 1 brake application. And here we are at Haringey platform 2. So it's just stopped beyond the 3-car stop sign there. But weirdly the platform mirror is placed further behind that. Quite an odd placement. Our next station stop is Hornsey. Just going to cut the powers of the train now. I'm going to start slowing down. Just going to put the train into a step 1 brake application, and that should bring us down nicely to 30. And we're going to try and aim to stop down towards the end of the platform. Just going to put a full service brake application on. Just going to open the doors now. Our next intermediate stop is Alexandra Palace. Just going to release the brakes now, just momentarily. And we are looking out for, I believe, a free car stop sign on this platform. In fact, we've just overshot it, I think. Yeah, we've just overshot it slightly. We'll stop here. Our next station stop is New Southgate, and just after the next signal the speed limit increases to 75 miles an hour. Past the class 365. Just going a couple of parts of a train now. I'm going to start to slow down. Just putting it into step 1 for the moment. That's actually bringing this down quite nicely. Just going to do a step 2 brake application. And we're stopping just down at the end of the platform here. So I'll just put full service on to make sure we do stop. Our next station stop is Oakley Park. Just being overtaken by a Class 43 HST. Just going to cut the powers of the train now and start to slow down for Oakley Park. Just going to put it into step 1 first. May have to use step 2. So once again, step 1's brought us down rather nicely to 30. Sometimes I'll go down to step 2 of braking. In fact, I'm just going to go down to step 2 now, just to make sure we do stop. And I believe we are aiming for the monitors just here on the left hand side. And we've stopped just about in the right place where we can see the monitors. Unfortunately, in this current version of Train Simulator, the platform mirrors and monitors aren't animated, but I'm sure in the next generation of Train Simulator with the Unreal Engine this may be possible, with the vast graphical improvements it brings. And although it looks really, really nice, at the moment I'm not really interested in the next generation of Train Sim, particularly in the American. I'm not really particularly interested in the American stuff, and at the moment I'm just with the next generation. All I'm just seeing is eye candy at the moment. It's not really appealing to me at the moment, so I'm just going to stay on the fence of buying it and just wait until more DLC comes out for it, and we'll see how it progresses. Our next station stop is New Barnet. And we want to be on the brakes just a little bit earlier than normal here, because the signal is actually, although the HUD shows the signal at the end of the platform, in reality the signal is placed just before the end of the platform, so we want to brake a little bit earlier so that we don't cause the signal to overlap to a red aspect. So I'm just bringing the train down to 30 miles an hour now, so that it gives us enough chance to slow down earlier. It's gone into step 1 of braking again. Going to go into step 2 of braking, and the free car stop mark is just about here, but we want to stop before the signal so we can see it. I should mention that the HST and the 365 both have Armstrong Powerhouse sound packs installed. The HST has the MTU sound pack installed, and the coaching stock have the Mark III sound pack installed as well. Our next station stop is Hadley Wood Station. Just going to cut the power to the train now, and we're going to start to prepare to slow down for Hadley Wood. I'm just going into a step 1 brake application now. Just going to release the brakes now. And I think we're looking out for a free car stop sign, which is just about here. In fact, I think it's just a bit beyond the monitors. Get overtaken by the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 321. Our next station stop is Potter's Bar, which is just over a mile away now. We've got warning of a single yellow aspect, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the train brakes on down into a step 2 brake application, and we need to aim to bring our speed down to at least 20 miles an hour before exiting the tunnel, as the Class 313 is fitted with a working TPWS module, and it works with the East Coast Mainline route. In fact, the East Coast Mainline route is one of a few selection of train sim routes that have working TPWS, The others being the Edinburgh to Glasgow route, and I also believe the West Coast Main Line Trent Valley route has working TPWS installed as well. So just to be on the side of caution, we'll just bring the train speed down now. The TPWS grids are actually located just on the just as you exit the tunnel here, just at the end of the mouth. And we're not going to accelerate any further until we see what aspect the signal ahead is displaying. And the signal ahead is displaying a single yellow aspect, so we can accelerate a little bit. That does mean that the station's starter, actually it's just cleared to a green aspect, so that's okay. So we can bring the train to full power. Just going to cut the power to the train now and enter step 1 brake application. And the station starter at Potter's Bar is just cleared to a green aspect. So we're just going to stop about here. Just going to put a full service brake application on. I think realistically you want to stop down towards the end of the platform, but because of the limited visibility, there's no real clear indication on where to stop the train. The stop car markers are there's no free car stop sign here at Potter's Bar. And the front doors of the train haven't opened due to the buggy nature of the platforms within the simulator. And our next station stop will be Brookman's Park. Just open up the side window so you can hear the external sounds. Since I have posted up my first impressions of Class 313 a few days ago now, the traction motor sounds have grown on me, so I've got used to them quite now. I've got used to them, so still think I could do with lowering the pitch slightly, but other than that they're perfectly fine. So certainly much better than listening to recycled Class 455 sounds. Just passed a warning board for a reduction in the speed to 55 miles an hour, and this is due to the sharp curve around Brookman's Park station. and this 55 also applies to London bound slow trains as well. But we're slowing down to stop anyway, so I'm just going to bring the train down to 30 miles an hour. And we're aiming to stop just before the end of the platform. And our next station stop is Welwyn Green. Just passing us is a Class 180 Adelante, which doesn't have an Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack as yet, so it still retains the default sounds created by Dovetail Games. I've had a bit of a drive of that unit when I bought it. The internal running sounds aren't that bad, though it does sound like a washing machine when it passes you at speed on the external views. Just going to cut the power to the train now, and we're going to start to slow down for Welwyn Green. Just putting a step 2 brake application on, as the HUD seems to be indicating a decreasing gradient. So we don't want the train to run away with us. Just going to put a full service brake application on now. Just make sure we stop. Our next station stop will be Hatfield in just over a mile's time. Just found it funny that as we closed the doors at Welwyn Green, one of the passenger characters just stopped by the platform side as they were closing. as opposed to attempting to enter the train, as some passengers do within this game. Particularly once the doors have, even when the doors are fully closed, some passengers will board the train as they fade in. Sorry about that, folks. I just had to go downstairs to answer the door to take a parcel in for next door. So as we fast approach Hatfield station, I'm going to start slowing the train down now. Just going to release the brakes. And here we are at Hatfield. So I'll just check the itinerary, and our next and final stop will be Welwyn Garden City. So it's been overall it's been quite a good scenario. I've really enjoyed driving it. Nice healthy amount of traffic. And we'll see if we can try to get up to 75 miles an hour, though I don't think we can, as pretty soon we'll be getting, we'll have to drop our speed down to 25 miles an hour. In fact, I'm just going to cut power to the train now, as it appears that we have a yellow signal ahead. Yeah, we have a single yellow aspect with a feather indicator. So I'm going to start slowing the train right down now. So I've put it into a full service brake application. Just gradually releasing the brakes now as we get closer to the speed drop. Just going to put a step-on brake application on. And the 25 mile an hour is for the points leading into platform 4 at Welwyn Garden City. To head back to Moorgate, the train will use the flyover. The trains use a flyover to cross back over to the other side. Just drop down just to 20 miles an hour for the TPWS equipment. And we just want to. We don't need to stop down at the end of the platform. So we'll just try and aim to stop just by the overbridge here. And here we are at Welwyn Garden City, so we can now just shut the train down. So I'll move the reverser to the off position, turn off the headlights and turn on the tail lights, and we'll switch off the marker lights. And we can also put up the driver's side window and turn on the DRA, and we can turn off the wipers with Shift and V. And if we've got time, we can change the destination blind. And the it's saying scenario incomplete, so we must have stopped at one of the stations late, or actually about 3 or 4 of the stations late. So I don't know what went on there, but otherwise it was a very good scenario. I did enjoy it. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will hope to see you again soon with another train simulator video, which will be on the Class 313. My aim is to get all of these Class 313 scenarios covered. So the next scenario we are doing is the Welwyn Garden City to Moorgate scenario, and then after that we will cover the North London line scenarios for the Class 313. So thank you very much for watching, and take care.